Alright, hello everyone, I am AlphaMax1 and we are here for the Japanese Grand Prix. I haven't modified any strategy just yet, and I have yet to see how this race is gonna go, but it's looking like a full wet race, like from beginning to the end, so I feel like we could go potentially for a zero stop strategy, but it feels not really a good idea, so I think I'm gonna just go for the standard strategy. Feels maybe a little bit more, yeah, worthwhile maybe. Oh wait, shit, not this one, this one. Yeah, mathematically speaking, I think it's better to go full attack on the first stint and then just a little bit conservative on the second one. Actually, maybe a little bit less attackful. This should be 4 seconds faster, while this one should be 5 seconds faster, and math doesn't lie, so I feel like I'm gonna go for the 5 second faster strategy, at least with Giovinazzi. As usual, I'm gonna underfuel as fuck, also because with rain we're gonna be able to save a shit ton of fuel, which is, of course, quite optimal if you ask me. And yeah, this is gonna be the strategy for Giovinazzi, full attack on the first stint. And that's about it. While for Leclerc, who's starting on pole position, I feel like this is probably better. I feel like he should have a better tire wear threshold, if you know what I'm saying. So I think I can do something like this, probably, but not too much. Can I do this? Just about. I mean, let's be safe though, I don't wanna be too riskful on the first stint. So I think it's gonna be like this for him. And we're gonna go, of course, with slightly less fuel. Fuel saving, as usual, normal race pace and full attack. And I feel like this is a good strategy, probably, for a race. So I'm gonna quick save, just to be sure. I just got tagged by a friend of mine. Alright, funny stuff, I guess. And that being said, I feel like it's about time we start this race, I guess. So, sorry if I waited a little bit long, but now we are ready to race in Japan, so let's go. Let me just check if I'm streaming correctly. Yes, I am.
Oggi partirà in seconda posizione, punterà al podio, ma chissà che non riesca ad aggiudicarsi la vittoria.
Yeah, considering it's gonna be a full wet race all the way through, I feel like it's gonna be quite an easy one. I mean, pace-wise, we should be good, but still, we'll have to see. So, hopefully no chaos or anything else, and we should be fine from beginning to the end. So, lights out, and away we go. And I feel like it's a good start from Charles Leclerc. Yep, looks like so. Did I remember to change the components of the engine? Yes, I did. Right, so penultimate race of the season, and look at Perez. Jesus fuck, that's a nice overtake actually. He's gonna be able to pull it through. Yes he is, and he's gonna push Giovinazzi wide. You bugger. Alright, he's gonna pay, surely. Anyway, Giovinazzi is gonna stay on full attack for as much as possible, although I feel like maybe going a little bit less aggressive should be a better choice, probably. So, through Dagner 1 and 2 now. Track is quite wet, 3.1. Let me just check real quick if it's gonna get worse. No, actually it's gonna get a little bit drier, but we are not gonna... Oh, red flag. Alright, I guess. Let me guess, it's gonna be Hauger, isn't it? It's gonna be Hauger, surely it is. Yes, of course it's Hauger. Who else? So he went wide and he tagged... Oh shit. He tagged the wall and the Haas. Congrats, you absolute fucking retard... I mean... Stupid. Stupid mate. But well, this happens. Hello Lucas. We just had a red flag and the race just started, so... Yeah, with a nice restart, we're gonna go for a new set of intermediates. It's gonna be a full wet race from beginning to the end, so no big surprise in the strategy section, let's say. So yeah, sadly, Giovinazzi lost position at the start to Perez, and we didn't complete a one single full race lap before Hauger decides to crash himself into the wall. So now we are back. I'm gonna try our best, maybe get this race underway in a decent way. So here we are, race start number 2. Hopefully we can fend off Perez. I wouldn't really like to have him in P1 really. Thankfully Leclerc is a good guy. Giovinazzi decides to go a little bit less aggressive on the first stint actually. Oh wait, that's Leclerc. Wait, why is he aggressive? Joe, you should be the aggressive one. Leclerc, you should not be the aggressive one. And Giovinazzi did a fantastic overtake on Perez, which I missed because I'm a fucking idiot. We're gonna see the replay if it comes here. Just wait a minute, of course. No replay? Alright then. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm a little bit tired. It's still after work hours, so you know, it's when you usually to go from where I live to my office is around like 2 hours of train and stuff, so it's a little bit tiring, but I feel still better than usual, so it's okay. Anyway, thankfully we are now 1-2, which is exactly what I wanted, and I feel like maybe Giovinazzi is better if you save the tires a little bit. We don't want you to attack Leclerc for no reason at all. So let's try and gain a little bit of a gap to Perez, and then we should be booked in for an easy race. Hopefully, of course. I feel like Giovinazzi is going a little bit too aggressive for my likings. Do I have to give you team orders? Do I have to avoid what happened in Jeddah once again? Please be mindful, thank you. But yeah, we're doing fine. We're all doing fine. Right, restart. About tires. Are we really the only ones who went for a little bit softer, fresher tires? I mean, it's not a big difference, of course, but it's still a little bit of a difference. So strange that no one took that free advantage, but alright, I guess. Right, so Giovinazzi is being a little bit too aggressive for my likings here. Okay, should lose a little bit of time here in the S's. Of course, Perez is staying real close though. He's able to keep close to Giovinazzi without too many issues. Right now, rain is not falling as hard as it did before, of course. But let's see, through Dagner 2. Down with the power. He may be trying something here. Oh shit, he's actually trying something here. Maybe, yeah, we should just keep up with the battery usage, really. There is no need to ask too much on the tire. I mean, we could, really. We have the Delta. Quite a lot, to be completely honest, but I don't feel like it's worth at the moment. I feel like it's probable that Checo's gonna burn his tires up and then, of course, fall down. Which is what I'm kinda aiming for, to be able to, you know, leave this one through. So hopefully, and just hopefully, we're gonna be able to survive this one. Checo's still a little bit too close for my likings. Don't know how he's keeping this close, but alright. I feel like probably he's just using the battery, isn't he? Let me just check. It's on 59%, just like us. So yeah, he's still going for a full overtake. So I feel like once the battery is drained, we're gonna be all close together. But still, I feel like he's got a run into turn 1, maybe. Maybe not. I think he just stopped deploying battery. We're gonna keep it up just for a little bit longer, not too much of course, probably half a lap, and then just switch it off to be completely safe. And I think I'm gonna start with Giovinazzi, so you can go to neutral, and in a moment I'm gonna tell Leclerc to do the same. After probably Dagner 1, I'm gonna tell him to stop pushing. Actually, let's do like this. Joe, push with the tires. Leclerc, stop pushing now with the battery. Thank you. Alright, now we should be fine. Let's have a little bit of a push from Giovinazzi to use a little bit of tires to get a little bit away from Perez. And there we go, we're fine. 1.3 gap is good enough to me. Alonso in P4 doing a fantastic job, and then we got Hamilton in P5, then Russell, Tsunoda, Gasly, Bottas, Vesti, Piastri, Maloney, Mick Schumacher, Ocon, Van Dorn, Maney, Magnussen, Joe, Norris having an abysmal race really, Ricciardo and Albon. I mean, Norris started last, I think. He had a big penalty on the grid, can't remember which one exactly. But I remember it was starting on the back of the field because of a penalty, so that's probably the main reason. Giovinazzi, you're still getting a little bit too close to Leclerc than I wanted. Do I ever really have to tell him to push? I mean, he can. Actually, you know what? Let's tell Leclerc to get a little bit away from Giovinazzi. Don't want him that close. Let's use a little bit of tire, not too much. There we go. He's gonna use the slipstream now to get close, of course, but once we get to the corners, it's gonna be a different story. Hopefully. There we go, through the S's now. Do they have a name, the S's in Suzuka? I can't remember. I mean, I know it's called the Suzuka's S's, but I can't remember if they actually have a name. I mean, I know the 130R, I know the 270R, I know Spoon, I know the Cassius Triangle, but I can't remember if... and Dagna 1 and 2 of course too, but I can't remember if those have a name. You know, we're still learning things about Formula 1 tracks, I guess. But that's the best part of learning, you know? You learn new stuff every single day. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. Yet, here we are, racing. Of course I'm still going for fuel saving, but we should be able to, you know, ease off with lift and coasting in a little while. Also we got the gap I wanted from Giovinazzi, so we can stop pushing. And Perez is in a little bit of trouble, I see. Because after the first few laps of full pushing, he's now back into the gripes of Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. So he's now in a little bit of a precarious situation, so he's gonna have to adapt, probably. There's also a little bit of battling happening behind you. Oh yeah, it's Norris it's trying to get through everyone. For a moment I thought that Joe was on full wets, which would have been quite silly, but thankfully he's not. So yeah, Norris is trying to get through the Kick-Sauber, but he doesn't have the legs on the main straight to actually catch him, so McLaren has to wait a little bit more to try and do something. So meanwhile, we take back our concentration to see this battle for P3 between Perez, Alonso and Lewis, also known as the Hamilton. What the Lewis doing? He's gonna try something? Yeah, one thing I'm pretty sure we're gonna see, it's probably a one-stop strategy, maybe because as you can see the intermediates work quite well. Technically a zero-stop strategy is viable, but I don't feel like it's worth enough. I mean, we lose a lot of time from doing that, so it can work of course if you are in a slower team, but I feel like it's better to just follow the rules and just stay on the one-stopper. A little bit afraid of a possible undercut because, you know, probably fresh intermediates are faster than used ones, but still I feel like we should have enough of a pace to get away from everyone during the first stint and then not to worry too much about it during the latter half. So yeah, we're just gonna stay here, relax and enjoy the ride probably. Also check out Perez versus Alonso, seen from Alonso's point of view. This reminds me the Sebastian Vettel onboard we had in 2022 here in Suzuka, which was like Vettel versus Alonso, which ended up in a battle to the line on the last lap, which was quite cool, I have to say. But yeah, that reminded me that this helmet cam with the green car. Guess I'm just being a little bit silly, but that's okay. Anyway, here he goes. Through the other sector towards Dagna 1 and then Dagna 2 here. Towards the hairpin, I can't remember if the hairpin has a name too. I usually call this the Kobayashi hairpin because in 2010 this was like the main overtaking spot for Kamui Kobayashi. But yeah, then this should be 270R. Then towards Spoon, which is not called like this because it looks like a spoon, but it's because I think of spoon like the car thingy, if you know what I'm talking about. And then towards the most famous corner of the track, 130R. Where the R stands for Roberto, if you didn't know. If you're wondering how I knew that, well, I just made it up. There we go. Everyone close together. It's gonna be quite difficult to overtake. I mean, Japan is a track where it's actually quite difficult to overtake, which makes the actual overtaking when it happens quite memorable, I have to say. I mean, of course, right now with DRS, usually turn 1 is the main overtaking spot, but still, the long run towards 130R and then the big braking zone in the Cassius Triangle usually allows drivers to actually try something, although they don't have DRS on that section. So yeah, I mean, right now we don't have any crazy battles. That's mainly because, of course, without the DRS, drivers are very not keen to making big overtakes, but that's to be expected, really. So this could be quite a boring race, really, except maybe some crashes or anything. But yeah, except for that, Japan is actually a fantastic track in my opinion, much better than other tracks like, I don't know, Mexico. Although I have to be completely honest, this week's race in Mexico was actually quite nice. I mean, not exactly the most exciting, but it had a few nice battles. For example, the Hamilton versus Russell one, and then the other famous one, which was not the cleanest, but I feel like it was the funniest. So that's something to remember, in my opinion. But yeah, I feel like Hamilton could try and go for it here. He's looking quite close to our friend Alonso, so maybe into the Cassius Triangle. He's gonna go for that braking zone. Nope, he's not. He's gonna wait for the turn 1, probably. Let's see. It's all about using battery, probably. And I feel like maybe Alonso is using a little bit more. Hamilton, though, in the DRS, which is not DRS, more like in the slipstream. He's gonna pull out and try something. Yes, he is. But it's not brave enough on the brake to try something. It's just gonna stay there. I do like Japan too. Maybe because it's just Japan. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, to be completely honest, Japan has a lot of cool tracks. Like, Suzuka is one of them, of course, but there's also, I don't know, we can talk about Motegi, which I feel like is quite an underrated track, especially for the 90 degrees corners. There's Fuji. Fuji is also great in my opinion, especially in WEC. Works quite nicely. I kinda hope to see it back in Formula 1, but of course it's I know there's a little bit of issues to bring back Fuji to Formula 1, so I'm not complaining too much about not seeing it there. And then there's also Sugo, which is also quite a nice track in my opinion. Very up and down towards in the entire circuit. So yeah, Japan has a nice car culture in my opinion, especially on the racing side. So it's nice to see that. Also, yeah, there's Tsukuba, although I don't feel like Tsukuba is very much a Formula 1 track. So it's more for I don't know, smaller cars. But it's also a very nice track in my opinion. Works very well with smaller cars like, I don't know, the Miatas, to be completely honest, or just K cars. K cars like K, you know, like the Cappuccino, Suzuki and so on. Yeah, all in all, it's a cool place. It's a cool place. Very twisty tracks with very nice gimmicks. Other cool Japanese tracks, let me just think about it. Which were some cool Japanese tracks? Also, hey, Hamilton may be able to go for it now, turn 1. On the braking, wow, what a braking maneuver from Alonso instead. That's brave. Wasn't expecting him to be able to brake that late, but he did, so nice one from him, really. But yeah, I was saying, other cool tracks in Japan. Those are the famous ones, the ones that I said, of course. There's Autopolis, although I don't like Autopolis too much, really. It's not like it's a bad track, but it's more like it's too difficult to overtake around Autopolis, in my opinion. Then, let's see, what else? What are all the Japanese cool tracks? If it was a real track, I would absolutely love the Tokyo Air 324, I think. You know, the Gran Turismo 4 Tokyo track, which is of course not real, it's a fictional circuit, but I feel like it's a cool one, so... I mean, could exist, because technically it's the street of Tokyo, but still, sadly, it's not real, I mean, as a circuit, so we cannot really live it, but I feel like it could be a nice DTM track, maybe, for GT cars, you know? Also, yeah, speaking of GT, Japan has the Super GT, which is like GT cars on steroids, really, which is, if I remember correctly, it's like an evolution of the JPGT. It's a strange name, but it was like the main GT championship in Japan, which had like crazy powerful cars, and was dominated by the, you know, the... Oh, look at that! Is Russell gonna take? Wait a minute, is Russell going? Oh, nice! Hamilton managed to get through finally. So Alonso finally yields to the Ferrari of Hamilton. But yeah, as I was saying, there was wait, what was I saying? I was talking about something Tokyo, something. Fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about the Tokyo racetrack, which, as I was saying, it's cool. I wish it was real, which I mean, it kinda is. But yeah, it was talking about Super GT. So yeah, Super GT was like is the current name of the championship that used to be like the main GT championship in Japan, and it was cool as fuck because they had actually some kinda nice rules. Also, Alonso is clearly using some battery here to try and get back past Hamilton, so the fight is not over yet between these two. But yeah, I mean, the main reason I remember that thing is because they had two things. First of all, it's the iconic GT cars they had in that era, which are like the Toyota Corolla and the Supra. Actually, not Corolla, the Toyota Supra. Wait, it's the Toyota Supra. I mean, they had the Supra, I remember. They had the Nissan Skyline and so on, and they had some iconic liveries, which we kinda know because of Gran Turismo. But at the same time, they had some cool rules, I feel like. Like, for example, did you know that to avoid another domination like they had in a few years' time with the... They call it the Gojira because like the Nissan Skyline was a little bit too powerful. They introduced a rule which made drivers use weight. Also Alonso goes back through Hamilton, but they had, like, every driver had to add a ballast or weight, extra weight to the car based on how many points they had in the championship, which means if someone is too far away in the championship, like in the lead, he's gonna get nerfed hard. So it was cool, I think. Of course not very fair, but of course it's for the show, and I feel like it's some kind of rule we could allow in some other sports, like, I don't know, Formula E. No, I'm just kidding, Formula E is already stupid enough itself, but you get the point. I feel like it's a cool rule. Then overall, just the Super GT Championship is actually quite cool by itself. Cool racing, cool cars, fast racing, hopefully respectful racing. Hamilton is answering back with his battery instead. He's gonna try on Spoon. No, I feel like he's not. Or is he? No, he's not. He's gonna try on the Cassius triangle, I feel like it. Yes, he is. Look at that. The power of the battery. Managing to get him side by side with Fernando Alonso towards 130R. And then through before the Cassius triangle. Is Alonso gonna try and fight back? He had a little bit of a thing, but decides not to. And there we go, towards the start-finish line, and I feel like Hamilton finally managed to get through Aston Martin and now can chase after Sergio Perez, which should be the main target really for the Ferrari at this point. They should take advantage of the situation while Norris is, well, kinda out of contention at the moment. Also a little bit EP by my side, so my bad on that. But I guess it's fine. Another track that I know, another place that I know has some nice track is China. Like, I know that China has other tracks other than the Shanghai one. They're a little bit weird, but I feel like they can work well, so there's also that. 2.6, the gap between Hamilton and Perez. He's gonna be able to bridge it through. I feel like it's gonna be. We're gonna keep a close eye to this guy here, because I feel like he can do something Right, I was looking at some stuff in the background, so don't mind me. Just silly little stuff. There we go. 2.5, so yeah, he's not gained a lot. He's more like Alonso that is losing a shit ton of time. Maybe also because of the engine issue he has, which is I don't know due to what, but probably it's just engine wear hitting him. Also, rain is getting a little bit heavier. Now it's 2.4, it was 1.8 some time ago. And it's gonna reach its peak in a moment, but then just go down to almost dry tires, which of course we are not gonna mount. We're gonna just stay on the intermediates and run through this whole race without too many problems or without too many complications, which I feel like it's a better choice than just, you know, saying fuck it, we ball and go for a 3-stopper with soft tires in the middle. Anyway, Alonso still holding out, and Norris, I think he finally managed to get through. Yes, he finally managed to get through Joe. Albon still in predicament. Ricciardo staying close. And here we can see Magnussen versus Stoffel and Dillon. Another great battle. But not as great as George Russell chasing after our friend Fernando Alonso. Formula 1 on Tokyo streets. Yeah, that'd be cool, I think. Depends of course on where you race in Tokyo. There are cool choices and very bad choices. I don't know though, I'm a little bit tired about street circuits, but it's alright I guess. Wait, something happened, I think. Don't know, I saw something on the leaderboard, I'm not sure about what. Anyway. Russell has a good run here. But Alonso is not yielding yet. So he's gonna have to wait a little bit more. Let's go with the onboard cam. This one. You can see how much the slipstream helps towards that single first corner. And then how the dirt here doesn't help towards here. I mean, it's almost non-existent in this game, but it's there, I swear. This is like a statistic you have in this game, which is dirty air tolerance, which, if I've read correctly, is something like a buff to your car's performance for when you are in dirty air, so when you are in the slipstream. So I know this is calculated, but I feel like it's not just strong enough to compensate for how much it actually is usually in real life. So sad, but true. Still, George Russell trying his absolute best here to stay close to Alonso, who is of course not doing his absolute, I mean, he's trying his best, but his car is, well, you know, a little bit of a judgment. So I don't know how much he's Alonso gonna be able to stay there. Hopefully a little bit longer, but yeah, I feel like Russell's gonna be able to get punched through sometime soon. Look at him, he's getting closer here. He's gonna try to 130R. I feel like he's not really. Maybe into the Cassis triangle. He's gonna be the first brave soul to try and outbrake Alonso. No, I feel like he's not. Also, they used to race in MotoGP in Suzuka till long ago actually. But yeah, they stopped doing that because it's not really a bike circuit, to be completely honest. And I feel like if you are a little bit observant, you may find out quite easily why. Meanwhile, Russell tries down the inside. He's there. He's there, but has to yield before the S's. Or does he? Stays close, but not close enough. Meanwhile, we managed to gain 10 seconds away from Perez, so we're doing fantastically, I feel like. But this battle here is quite nice, I feel. Soon enough we're gonna have to witness Hamilton versus Perez, because the gap is now below 2 seconds and Hamilton is just straight up catching the Red Bull quite easily. So yeah, while that happens, we're still gonna watch this battle here, because I feel like Russell should be able to get through eventually. He's gonna try here to have a look, but once again, nothing to do. No way through just yet. Oh, look at him. Into spoon as a look. But no spoon through. He do be spooning though. Yeah, now he's a little bit too far away, in my opinion, but he can maybe gain the momentum needed to try and overtake into turn 1 if he keeps staying in the slipstream throughout here and after the Cassius triangle, so let's see. Also, I feel like he should be using battery to try and complete his overtake, but he doesn't have enough. I mean, he has 70, 60, 50, 58% battery, which, well, it's not a lot, but could work. He's getting closer, that's for sure. Alonso goes defensive though. Let's see, into turn 1, Alonso stays ahead once again. Russell trying every single trick in the book to try and get past. But of course it's not enough. Not this time, at least. He's gonna have to try something special. Like, I don't know, I'll overtake around outside. Doing like his ex-teammate, Lewis Hamilton, did. Have a little bit of a chit-chat with his front wing with the Aston Martin, which I feel like would not be a good choice. Although I feel like it'd be funny. Oh well, you know, just wait, be patient, maybe undercut him. I feel like, you know, ironically, I feel like an undercut is actually viable. I mean, Giovinazzi should be... I don't know why the game is not telling me that Giovinazzi is in the pit stop region, so I'm just gonna probably do like this and tell you that we are on a similar strategy. Oh, that's why, because we are on the second stint. No, we are not on the second stint. What the fuck are you doing? Right, so for some reason the game backed a little bit and forgot that we have a strategy, but alright, I guess. Alright, I guess I'm gonna pit him on pure feeling, I guess. So technically, on the next lap, Giovinazzi should be able to go to the end with a single set of tires, but I feel like we're gonna just wait for other people to do their move, because it's a little bit too early in my opinion. We should wait just, I don't know, until lap 25 to say the least, maybe 26, just to be completely sure to have enough tires to go to the end. Also, as for fuel saving, we are almost there, almost good enough. So we should not worry. Also, Hamilton has finally catched Perez, so let's see if Russell can get through, and if he cannot, we're gonna switch to Perez and Hamilton fighting. Oh, this is a good one from Russell. I think it's gonna be enough. Also tries, but it's not enough, so Russell is finally through. And now he's gonna have a little bit of a breathing space to try and run away from Alonso before he counters with battery, which is likely as he did with Hamilton, so yeah, a losing battle for Alonso, but still a nice one for everyone else. Russell boys, we are so back. I mean, Formula 1 should be like this. Hard-fought battles, which ends up in the most satisfying overtakes you've ever seen, in my opinion. DRS can be a useful tool, but of course has to be calibrated enough to make it that you don't get slam dunk overtakes, but just, you know, a good enough advantage to get into the braking point side by side, which I feel like is the better choice, really. But it's alright, that's modern Formula 1 for ya. Anyway, let's see if Alonso is actually counter-attacking. I feel like he is. Yeah, surely using some battery. Or maybe Russell is out of battery, could that be? Let's see, towards 130R, Alonso trying to replicate the 2005 overtake on Schumacher, but not just about able. He's gonna stay behind, and into the main straight he's gonna try and have a look. And he is close as hell. You know, I feel like he's gonna be able to get through. He's having a look already. We should stay a little bit more in the slipstream to make this one work, but sadly he didn't, so no overtake for Alonso, sadly. So Russell reigns supreme and stays ahead into the S section. Now rain is a little bit less intense. We have 2 millimeters of rain and getting probably lower. So this should be the dry patch we saw on the radar. Yep, so it's gonna get, of course, way drier, probably until 1 millimeter. But still, it's not enough for us to pit and go onto slicks, because that'd be absolutely fucking stupid. I'm still wondering, we should have enough of a gap to maybe pit Leclerc, but I'd rather wait a little bit more, just to be sure, completely. Russell having the time of his life, really. Really, to be completely honest, it's a nice ride from Russell. We haven't seen a lot of Mercedes this season, so it's good to see him in a high enough position here in P5, so good for him, I guess. Alonso, I feel like he's gonna realize quite soon that he does not have the pace to stay close to the Mercedes, at least for now. Mainly because of the engine issue, not because he's lacking pace himself. And yeah, what can I say? Sadly, the rain makes this race not too much interesting for us, but at least it's a chill one, so we can enjoy battling, we can enjoy having a little bit of chit-chat, talk about stuff if possible, and just enjoy our time, really. Just like Alonso is. Look at him. Chasing after the McLaren just because he can. Also, Bottas got through Gasly, which I didn't show, but you can imagine, I think, what happened. And yeah, we're almost halfway through the race, which is good in my opinion. And it is getting very dry, but we should get a little bit more rain later on, so we should not be worried too much. There we go. Perez managed to get back a little bit of a big gap to Hamilton, so I feel like maybe either Hamilton is saving tires and battery, or Perez just started to push, which could be also be likely. But yeah, right now the battle is still raging on. And I feel like this battle for P3 is just not over yet. Also, as for tires, Perez is the one with the worst here. So maybe Perez will be the first one to pit. Likely, I mean, probably Albon and Ricciardo, Norris as well, are gonna be the first one. Norris, as one of the first ones to pit, could be very dangerous, mainly because he could be able to undercut a lot of the cars ahead, which is quite crucial to try to get at least, you know, 1 point. And yeah, what to say? What to say? Na 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 na. Damn, Russell. Sorry, Perez is actually pushing quite a lot. Hamilton is just not able to stay close. Oh, West is the first one to pit. He's gonna go onto the slicks. Thankfully, he's not stupid enough to do that. He's gonna go onto the probably last set of intermediates that he's gonna use today. Hopefully. Albon as well, behind. Let's see. He's gonna be smart, he's gonna be stupid. He's gonna be smart, thankfully. You never know, maybe someone is gonna go for the crazy strategy ever and go for the slicks, which, as I said, is gonna probably mean certain death, but it'd be funny, so I'd accept that. As Leclerc noticed via radio, the rain has picked up, so we should be fine. Also, what the fuck is going on here? Why we get Gasly versus Piastri versus Maloney all together? So yeah, there's this little bit of a fight happening. And all the while, these four are catching Tsunoda, so it's gonna turn into a 5-way battle, which is, well, gonna be either intense or absolutely, you know, boring, but who knows. Also, we haven't seen much of the Williams recently. Piastri, in the points, he got a podium a few races ago, which is kind of impressive considering he's driving a kick Sauber. But there we go, towards 130R. Altogether, Petronas, Williams, Kick, HP, all the sponsors on the rear wing, and also Olen. Also, Hamilton decides to go for the fastest lap while chasing Perez, so I feel like probably he's pushing with the battery. So yeah, he was saving something here. He was indeed saving something, and now he's ready to make everyone pay. Pay with his life. 0.9, getting closer to Perez. Let's see it from the Perez on board. This one, the chunk account, as one wise man would say. 1.1, he's there, still not close enough. Ricciardo is the next one to beat, by the way. if I'm seeing this correctly, the undercut is actually very powerful, because I'm seeing Richardo coming out way a lot behind Albon, which is more than I would have thought. So maybe, just maybe, the undercut is actually really fucking powerful. We should keep that in mind. It would make sense to pit us with Giovinazzi, wouldn't it? Let's see, how close are they to the pit lane, to the pit stop? We are, oh well, actually fastest lap of course due to the lower rain, of course. 1.1 is almost dry really, but intermediates are still faster. And we are driving fast as fuck because of that, which is also fantastic. Still, we are considering to pit quite soon, because we are getting close to that. Well, of course, there are people in the worse situation. Alonso also could be going for a fastest lap. I'm a bit more concerned about Albon, because he's purple in Sector 1, and I feel like he's gonna be probably purple in Sector 2 as well. Tsunoda goes into the pit lane though. So yeah, let's follow Tsunoda into the pit lane, I feel like. He could be able to actually undercut Alonso, maybe, just maybe. And should we double stack? I don't think we should, but we have the possibility if needed. Right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna burn out the tires for Giovinazzi. Yes, Albon, no, actually Vesti got the fastest lap, so maybe Albon is gonna beat him. Like he has the pace to do that. Let's see. Yes, as expected, he did. So we're gonna go back to Russell and Alonso, because these two are starting to fighting once again. And Alonso is looking a little bit more lively now. With the Aramco machine, also known as the Aston Martin, and Jesus Christ, he's going for it. I feel, yeah, surely he's using battery. There's no way he's not using battery. Into Spoon, pushes Russell wide and gets through. Yeah, I'm confident of the fact that he is indeed using battery, but now Russell has none of it and using battery himself as well. So towards 130R, side by side. Oh boy, this is gonna be, that was going to be quite close, but thankfully they both decide to not kill themselves, which is considerably a nice little choice in my opinion. So while we push Giovinazzi to finish off his tires as quickly as possible, we wait for, well, a bit more rain, and whatever we need really to make our next stop. Gasly is the next one to go into the pit lane. Let's see him. There he is. I'm curious to see where he's gonna come out compared to Tsunoda, because Tsunoda was the first one to come into the pit lane of this group, so maybe he's gonna be, well, it should be behind, but I don't know how much. Tsunoda is going through now, so it's gonna be, well, quite a lot actually. It's going to be behind Vesti. Damn. Undercut is powerful as fuck. Jesus Christ. Should I pit now? Or should I not? I'm actually gonna keep an eye on Perez. When Perez pits, I'm gonna pit one car in the first lap and another in the other one. So, yeah, no need to worry really. No need to panic. We are doing absolutely fine. Everything is fantastic. Also, how is the pace with Giovinazzi? It's good. Nothing too spectacular, but it's good. Also, we are hitting the intermediates as expected, but that's because we are pushing like hell. And the track is getting wetter. Well wetter. There we go. Perez moves through. And still no pits. And Hamilton is once again pushing more. Also, I think, is Hamilton trying to avoid the slipstream? Is he? Is he overheating the tires, pushing a little bit too much with the engine? He could be, although I feel like here temps are a little bit lower. Like, holy shit, it's 12.6 degrees Celsius. It's freezing out there. Absolute freezing temperatures. Let's see. Maney pits. Joe pits as well. So the pit battle between the two top teams, the Alpine and the Kick Sauber. Nice one from the Alpine. Let's see if the Kick Sauber boys can bring it up to a notch. The answer is, well, not really. But yeah, we're gonna wait the usual business. We're gonna stay on board with Hamilton a little bit just to see the battle between him and Sergio Perez. Still raging on, really. A nice little intenseful race. Also, Alonso managed to get past Russell. Oh yeah, actually we saw that, sorry. It's more like Russell hasn't managed to be able to go through Alonso just yet, although he's very close to doing so. And Giovinazzi, although he's pushing, he hasn't gained too much on Leclerc. He should have gained a little bit, but not too much. So let's see. There's a little bit of a sunny side here on the top of the 8th spot, and we got a spin, probably. No, I think it's just a lockup. It was a very quick yellow flag. Yep, it's Magnussen going a little bit wide. Let's see. True spoon, so yeah, easy to do this mistake here. But nothing too bad. Well, I mean, he lost a point paying position, so maybe something bad it is, but it could have been way worse, so it's okay. Anyway, I think we can stop fuel saving because as you can see, we are good with the fuel. I mean, we could save a little bit more. Meanwhile, Bottas, Maloney, and Ocon, all the 3 of them in the pit lane, so this is gonna be interesting. Let's see that from a Ocon point of view, really. Ferrari having an easy time. Mercedes, I think, is ahead of the Ferrari. Yep, it is. Meanwhile, here they stop. At this league, get out behind the ones where they were fighting before. Easy. And there they go through, with Albon getting close, and I feel like it's gonna be through on Ocon quite easily. Yes, it is. Meanwhile, Hamilton lost an entire second to Perez somehow, so yeah. The thing between those two is still going on, and I feel like we're not gonna see an overtake really, except maybe someone pits before. But that being said, we should maybe be starting to pit Giovinazzi quite soon. We're still far away from Perez Taiwa, but still we're doing good. And as I was saying, I'd rather wait for Perez to go into the pit lane, and seeing how much he's pushing this lap, I feel like this could be the lap he's actually gonna go for it. So let's see. Would make sense, I think. And yes, it is. So Giovinazzi, you know the deal, you know the plan. We're gonna pit and go for another set of intermediates to the end of the race, likely. There he goes, intermediate tires, and it's gonna go out. Where is it gonna come out? I think it's gonna come out right behind Piastri, but ahead of Magnussen, it should be. Yes, exactly. Also, in all of this, Russell and Alonso are still fighting in all of this. So while Perez now has a little bit of a chance to run away from Hamilton while he does an undercut, we are gonna answer, of course, with Giovinazzi, and then we're gonna answer with Leclerc on the very next lap. So business as usual, as we say. We're gonna still observe this battle for a little while we wait for our pit stop to come, which is gonna be quite soon. So there we go, they're still fighting each other quite harshly. Now Leclerc through the Cassius triangle I can see on the minimap. Next up is gonna be, of course, Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi is gonna pit exactly now, so let's see it. Into the pit lane goes Giovinazzi. Let's see, where will we come out? Because I'm looking at the Alonso versus Russell battle. We should come out behind those. Also, not a very fast stop. I mean, 2.6 is nice. Surely we are behind Hamilton. That's quite sure as a thing. Let's see. Are we gonna be ahead of Russell and Alonso? I feel like we are. Yes, just about behind Hamilton. So now, if we pit with Leclerc, which is what we're gonna do, we should be ahead of Hamilton instead. So there we go, the battle continues between these two. Also, Joe, please don't push the tire that much, we're not gonna go to the end if we do that. But there we go, the battle rages on, and Alonso still defends quite nicely. what a battle this is. What a fantastic little battle we're having here for P4. Anyway, while these two still rage one against the other, which is gonna stay like this for a little while, I'm just gonna wait for the happen, just to see if someone is gonna try something crazy, like this guy here is, but not quite enough. We're gonna just now switch to our friend Charles Leclerc to see if he's gonna have a nice pit stop and probably come out ahead of Hamilton, which I feel like he is. Into the pit lane, intermediates ready. The set is on, 2.7, not the fastest stop ever, but I'm gonna accept it quite easily, and out of the pit lane we come. I think we're gonna be easily ahead of Hamilton without too many issues, so there we go. Easy. There we go. Hamilton comes there. Giovinazzi just in the camera. And now we go through to see once again these two battle each other as harshly as possible and humanly imaginable. Piastri also pits now. Hamilton yet to pit, of course, just like these two. So I'm a little bit worried that these lads may be, you know, getting a little bit of a surprise from the people who pit a few laps ago, because I don't know how much the pace is different. Like, Hamilton is running in the 139, Perez in the 139 as well, so maybe it's not that big as a difference, but you never know. You never know, really. Anyway, while this happens, we got the fastest lap from Maini, of all people, and we got Giovinazzi trying to get through Hamilton, so maybe a little bit of tire risk could potentially use just to try and get through. Well, let's see if Giovinazzi really needs a little bit of help, or if he can actually do that without my help. I'm just gonna tell him to use a little bit of battery, just to be completely sure. I feel like once he's through, it's gonna be quite an easy job. So now he's gonna deploy, of course, all he has. He's gonna get through probably 130R. Yes, he is. There we go. Easy maneuver with the battery. And we should stop using it now. So Hamilton, easily beaten by your shitbox 03. And now into P2 we go towards the end of the race. Is Hamilton gonna pit this lap, or is gonna wait? He's gonna wait. I don't think he's gonna be able to go to the end, because there's like 20 or some laps to go and he's on 42% tire wear, which is a little bit too much if you ask me. So also Alonso is in a little bit of a predicament. He's also having a worse tire wear compared to our friend Russell. Also Perez in the background, getting closer and closer, so he may join this battle quite soon. So this could turn into an interesting fight. I mean, it is already an interesting fight, but could be even more interesting. Or maybe even less, I don't know. Maybe just a boring guy. I like this kind of fights where nothing really happens, but it's cool because there's tension. You're like, yeah, Alonso, you can do it, mate, but you're also like, Russell, come on, mate, you got this. And then there's Perez, which is like, I don't know, playing some mariachi stuff in the background and getting closer. Probably. Also, I got a notification from Windows, but I kinda missed that, so I'm not gonna bother too much. So, still 20 or something laps to go. And we are doing absolutely fantastically. Perez is getting very close to this fight here, so we're gonna go on board with him. Like this. And Packett, or Leclerc race engineer, tells him that rain is coming quite easily. So Charles, the fog is coming, the fog is coming, the fog is coming. Lewis is finally in the pit lane. Let's see what he's gonna go for. Who would have guessed? Another set of intermediates. He comes out, he's gonna be easily behind this trio here, so he's gonna have a lot of job to do to catch up to at least Perez, of course. And could it be behind Tsunoda? No, I feel like it's not. So yeah, there we go. Hamilton had a little bit of an undercut attempt going on from Perez, and now, speaking about Perez, here it is, battling with the two of them. and having enough tire to probably get through easily, but of course the rain doesn't make this as easy as he may have liked, so now he has to find a way through our friend Russell. So where is he gonna try it? He's gonna be onto the deck nurse. I feel like it's a little bit too risky to go for here. He's gonna stay close, very close. Probably it's gonna be into the happen. Yeah, it's already having a look, so I wouldn't be surprised if he actually goes for a dive here. He tried, but still not much of a big maneuver. Also, we have to keep in mind that Perez has almost 10% less tire compared to Hamilton, which is something to keep in mind in my opinion. So there we go, through Spoon. The pressure Russell is in is unreal completely. And ooh, he's gonna go for it. I feel like he's gonna try either the inside or the outside. No, he's gonna stay behind in the least aggressive way possible, which is how can I say that, disappointing really. So maybe is he gonna wait for the main straight to try something to show us his skills? Let's see. Slipstream is on, battery is on. Oh, it's a three-way fight here now, and this is gonna get of course boxed in to avoid getting the most easy overtake ever, but to get maybe side by side, maybe he's gonna be able to pull it. Let's see. Russell is gonna try to keep it around outside, but I feel like he has enough grip to keep it there and get the overtake done, but Russell fights back. Once again, he's gonna be side by side throughout the whole S section. That's kind of fantastic, and Russell holds on. Nice one from him. Absolutely. Also, we are good on fuel now. I can see Leclerc on the positive delta. And now, in all of this, Perez still not able to get through Russell. This is an interesting little fight. Now, towards the happen is Perez gonna be able to try something. Once again, late braking, but not late enough. And he's gonna stay there, while the rain picks up a little bit. I'm gonna check real quick how is it gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna get wetter now, so it's gonna be interesting. And Russell is pushing. Russell is pushing, and he's gonna try and get the maneuver done on Alonso, trying to get something between him and Perez. And Team to Spoon is actually able to get it done. And now Alonso is the one under attack from Perez, which is unexpected really. And Perez is looking very fighty now. He's gonna try on the outside of 130R maybe. He's not gonna have the space to try it, so Alonso is gonna hold true. I feel like probably Alonso is gonna pit now. Probably his tires are absolutely dead and they have hit the cliff now. So let's see. Alonso got overtaken, and I feel like he's gonna pit now. Yes, he is, with Russell as well. So now Perez is finally free, but he lost 2 seconds to Hamilton. And now the battle in the pit lane between Aston Martin and, of course, Mercedes. Let's see who's gonna win this one. Nice pit stop from the Aston Martin boys. Are the Mercedes gonna be able to get him through? No, they are not. So Alonso gets back ahead of Russell, and Russell has this overtake to be done once again. That's one hell of a fight. And also in all of this, quietly, Albon got into the points quite easily. So now, of course, he has no tires, but he's there. Things about the Perez situation, let's completely like the real life one. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I feel like it's a little bit long overdue, the goodbye from Perez from Formula 1. Which, I mean, it's not like being hateful or anything, but like I feel like Perez has always been a little bit overrated. Like, I don't mean this in a hateful way, but I feel like there's also he's been a little bit overrated over the course of time. Which, I mean, I kinda get why people like him. I mean, it's not hard to imagine that, of course, but I feel like there's also a little bit of realism to be had when we talk about Perez's performance and everything else. And I'm not really talking about actual performance on track, because he's actually a really good driver, in my opinion. He can have the pace when he wants to, and in the right situation he can actually outperform the car quite easily, as we've seen in the past with Force India and also Sauber. But at the same time, I feel like one thing people tend to forget, which I think is like an unpopular opinion I kinda have, and other people don't seem to agree too much on, but I guess I'm just gonna say it and get all the hate in the world to be saying this, but do you remember all the crashes Perez had with Ocon in the Force India Zebra? Well, if I have to be completely honest, I'm gonna say that it's not completely Ocon's fault. Like, I feel like Perez has always kind of been a little bit of a dirty driver in this kind of situations, and just complain about, you know, Perez being the trouble, sorry, Ocon being the trouble maker and the one who caused all the crashes in Force India when they were together. I feel it's a little bit of, you know, of a red herring, like saying, yeah, it's Ocon's fault, and like completely ignoring the fact that Perez also used to be and still is quite a troublemaker when he comes to wheel. And if you don't believe me, just look at what happened with Lawson this race. Like, there was no need to be this aggressive against an RB, and yet he did, and look at what happened. He got a hole in the side and ended up in last place, which could have been completely avoided if it was a little bit more cautious. But yeah, that's my personal opinion, and that's a hill I'm gonna die on, but that's okay. I mean, if they feel like they're gonna need Perez for a little bit longer, then be it, I guess. But I feel like probably Red Bull would get a little bit of a benefit from another driver. Also, while I'm talking about Perez, here we are, Perez versus Hamilton. Fight for P3. Hamilton has catched up quite easily, and now on the main straight I feel like he's gonna go for it. Yes, he's using all the battery in the world to go side by side into turn 1. Is Hamilton gonna be able to get Perez? I feel like he is. Let's see on the braking who's gonna be the latest. Perez is, but Hamilton has better speed towards the corner and gets ahead. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a bit of a harsh opinion, the one I have about him. I mean, I don't know if it is. I mean, I feel like he has, of course, his pros, like, for example, the 2021 season and a little bit of 2022 really have been quite the highlight really for him. That showed that he can actually be a very nice driver and a very competitive one in the right situations. But at the same time, we also seen that in the wrong situation, it's the complete opposite. So I don't know, maybe I feel like it's not time for him to leave completely Formula 1, but I feel like probably it's the right time to get away from Red Bull, which is giving him the classic Red Bull driver 2 treatment, like it happened with Albon, like it happened with Gasly, and like it happened with Kvyat. So, yep, that's the main point. In RB, if you're not Verstappen, then you are second. And if you are second, you are not gonna win soon. Also got tagged on Discord by someone. It's just an everyone, so nothing to worry about really. Gonna watch it real quick. Oh, nice one. Well, that being said, back to racing, back to us. Hamilton got through on Perez, and now with the tire advantage I feel like he's gonna be able to run away quite easily. And yes, this was the only real battle we had. Tsunoda managed to stay in P5, Gasly in P6, Maloney up to P7 nicely, but Vesti is fighting him hard, and Albon sneaked into the top 10, but of course now he has to fight all the drivers like the mighty Piastri, and I would have loved to say the mighty Alonso, but now his engine problem got worse, so now he's gonna surely drop out of the point. So sadly, Alonso defensive maneuvers, I think, ends here. So yeah, sad end for the Aston Martin, but it's also a little bit fair considering the issues he was having. Now rain is picking up quite a lot, 2.6. I mean, I feel like it would be beneficial, like, to race, I don't know, maybe just 1 or 2 years. Like, I feel like it's still maybe a little bit too early to drop him completely for Formula 1. But it's like the kind of situation that if he ends up with no seat in Formula 1, I'd be like, yeah, to be completely honest, it is fair to consider that he should not have a seat at this point in Formula 1. I mean, he was almost out of Formula 1 in 2021, to be completely fair, so I feel like he survived a lot longer than he should have. But at the same time, people should consider that, you know, not getting a seat in Formula 1 is not the end of career of the driver. Like, WEC exists, and there are other championships where you can race. DTM is another choice, GT3 championships also. So yeah, I mean, they are not as famous as Formula 1, but I feel like there are solid choices as well, so. Or at least there's also like the commentator role for some special drivers. Like, for example, I think last year Ricciardo made the commentators in some Australian broadcast, and it was actually a nice insight for some commentators, because being a driver, you actually know what's going on track. So yeah, Alonso on WEC, for example, but I feel like many drivers should consider WEC. Like, for example, let's be completely honest, Perez, just like Giovinazzi, is not a bad driver. Probably is not as good as many other Formula 1 drivers, like not on the extreme, absolute perfect level that some drivers have reached in Formula 1. But still, it's a very good level, and it's good enough to probably race in WEC and be competitive. And by competitive, I mean really competitive. Like, WEC in the past used to be a little bit less of a choice, because either you drove, a fucking Toyota and win everything because Toyota was too OP, or you just ended up racing an LMP2 and GT cars, which were a little bit more, competitive and had a little bit more of a winning chance. But now that we are in the hypercar era, I feel like it's more worth to actually think about WEC. There are many more seats available because we have a shit ton of constructors like Alpine. I mean, let's not consider Alpine really, but we have Aston Martin coming in WEC. We have Ferrari, which is doing fantastically with 2 main cars and 1 custom one, which has, Robert Kubica, Robert Schwartzman, and can't remember which one is the third one, but still, you get the point. Like, people who should be in Formula 1 cannot find a seat and then decide to drive that, and look at that, they're going absolutely fantastically. Robert Kubica, actually, I think he won a race in WEC. It was in Fuji, was it? I remember that the number 83 won a race, can't remember where though. We still got the Toyota, which are not as strong as they used to be in the past, but they are still a solid choice. We had Glickenhaus, sadly we don't have them anymore, and I miss them. I absolutely love the Glickenhaus hypercar. You should look at it on Google, it's absolutely fantastic, and sadly, I cannot express how much pain I feel from knowing that they don't race in WEC anymore, although they were not really too strong, but still I love them. There used to be Vanwall, but we don't talk about Vanwall. There used to be the Isotta Fraschini, but sadly it ended up in the same way as Glickenhaus, although a little bit earlier. And then other teams, well, we have Porsche. Shit, Porsche is strong. Holy shit if it's strong. And there's also the Peugeot. Peugeot is an underrated team in my opinion. Like, other than looking cool as fuck in WEC, I feel like Peugeot is actually capable of winning races in the right conditions. Maybe they are missing just a tad bit of pace or strategy, but I feel like they're there. They're there. And yeah, that's what makes WEC great. One personal suggestion, I did this a few months ago actually. And I feel like everyone should actually try to do this. Try and rewatch the full the full 24 hours of Le Mans. Of course, I'm not saying in one single sitting, because 24 hours in a single sitting is a little bit crazy. Not impossible, but of course it's a little bit harsh to do. But do like, I don't know, watch an hour at a time every day or something like that when you feel like it. And I feel like you're gonna watch actually a nice, interesting race. I did it with the 24 hours of Le Mans of 2023 because I watched it a little bit live but missed some points, so I decided to rewatch it completely. Or you can actually do it with the 2024 version, which is also uploaded on YouTube for free on the WEC channel. So yeah, WEC is a solid choice for everything really. Also they have Valentino Rossi for some reason, but that's a little bit more on the funny side. And that reminds me that there's also the BMW on the hypercar section. So yeah, a lot of stuff. Not many races, very long ones though, and very clean and fair racing, although very hard. Absolutely 10 out of 10 would suggest to everyone. Anyway, meanwhile, Vesti, Albon, Bottas and Piastri all fighting together for P8 here. Hamilton managed to get away from Perez and now is just cruising probably. And with this we are also cruising without taking too many risks, because to be completely fair we don't need to. And yeah, while I was talking I wasn't really paying attention too much on the battle, but I can see that Albon is getting close, and also I saw Piastri pushing someone wide. Yeah, I think Bottas was pushed wide, yeah I think so. Russell also is there, somehow. I mean, he shouldn't be, he was in a better position earlier, but now he's here. Yep, it is absolutely going through a golden era. Also, look at this fight, holy shit. Best is fighting through, and now finally into the Cassius Triangle side-by-side action. Which ends up, maybe, with Albon finally getting through. But yeah, I mean, like, right now there are a shit ton of brandings in WEC, and especially in Ipaka, and I feel like that's fantastic, because, you know, if you go back to even just 2021, really, 2022 as well, oh, there's WEC this weekend. Where are they racing now? In Bahrain, are they? Actually, I will check later on, but yeah, I'll give it a check. I was going to say, are they racing in Brazil? No shit, Sherlock. They have Formula 1 in Brazil. It's a little bit difficult to have a WEC race with Formula 1 on the same circuit at the same time. So yeah. But yeah, as for brandings that are in Ipaka, I mean, if you think about it in 2022, we had just Toyota, Glickenhaus, Alpine. That's it. Those were the three manufacturers they had in Hypercar, and Alpine wasn't even an Hypercar. Like, they had actually an LMP2 car modified just to be able to compete in Hypercar, mainly because they had literally no other way to compete with an Hypercar because they didn't have one, and there were like 5 cars in Hypercar, so yeah, it was a little bit boring, of course. But thankfully, with 2023, when we had the introduction of Ferrari, Cadillac, I fucking love the Cadillac. Like, really, Cadillac is pretty fucking fantastic. I feel like they're the constant underdogs, but I like the car. Like, it's cool that they have 3 cars and they're recognizable by the color: 1 blue, 1 yellow, and 1 red. And yeah, I also love the Peugeot, really great. The Alpine has a nice livery. Not so great engine though, but whatever. Isotta, well, I miss them. They had something to fight for, and also Isotta. I mean, they retired from the championship, which is really sad because I mean, they're not too competitive, but they were good. And one thing we have to say about Isotta Fraschini, those mad lads actually managed to finish the 24-hour Le Mans. Like, I don't think you actually get how much of an achievement this is for such a team. Because, like, racing at Le Mans is something, managing to do, like, some of the race is something, but actually finishing a 24-hour race at your debut in that race, I mean, you may have not been the fastest, but trust me, that's impressive considering you have no experience at Le Mans. And, you know, people kind of die, I mean, not literally, at least not in latest news, but still, you have to be proud of coming to the end of a 24-hour race in one piece, really. So, yeah, absolute fantastic stuff. And I mean, just to make up a little bit of a confrontation, I was said actually to compare stuff. Let's say, like, Isotta Fraschini managed to finish the first 24 hours of Le Mans in one piece without too many problems, while, for example, the Cadillac number 311, I think it was, the express one, you know, the red one, on the first outing at Le Mans, they crashed on the first lap, and then they had an abysmal race before actually, I don't remember if they actually retired or ended up a few laps down, but still, you know, they had a little bit of a more harsh time, and that just shows how easy it is to DNF at Le Mans in a 24-hour race. So yeah, to do such a thing is quite an achievement. Even Glickenhaus, when they raced in Le Mans, they had their own set of issues, but still managed to finish the race, which is still fantastic in my opinion. Yeah, 24 hours of Le Mans, I absolutely recommend that as a race to watch at least once. Although maybe just not in one sitting. If you feel like you need to sleep at some point, do it. Don't worry about it. But trust me, it's absolutely worth to watch it live. Like, even though you're not completely watching it, just hearing the news, hearing your friend talk about it, it's fantastic. It's an absolute nice feeling, trust me. Especially this year, 2024, 24 hours of Le Mans. Like, I swear in the last 3 or 4 hours I was literally holding my breath because it was amazing. Like, we were all wondering, can the Ferrari actually hold on to the end with fuel saving, or are they gonna finish the fuel on the last lap and it's gonna be it? It was so close, but in the end they just about managed to do it, and I was like, I cannot fucking believe it. That's amazing. You get emotions you never knew you had in Le Mans. I'm gonna stretch a little bit, and 10 laps left to go. This is also the penultimate race on my championship here, the season 3 of Formula 1 Manager. Next one is gonna be Abu Dhabi, the last one, and of course I'm gonna stop streaming after that one, at least for a little while. But yeah, I feel like it was a nice run. A nice little run. A cool game I could stream maybe should be Motorsport Manager instead of Formula 1 Manager, but mainly because Motorsport Manager also has the chance to play for endurance races. Although I feel like it's a little bit unbalanced for how it works, like traffic is a little bit too much of an issue in that game. So endurance race ends up being a little bit too silly really. But still I could make a little bit of a, I could think about it. I could have a little bit of a silly idea maybe, of something a little bit funny to make, although I may need a little bit of collaboration from the Lightroom server to do that. But I think it could be a nice idea. Yeah, maybe that could work. I don't know, I'll think about it. I have a little bit of a silly idea, because I mean, Formula 1 Manager, I know how to mod it a little bit, but it's a little bit limited on some stuff. Like, I mean, it has a nice graphic, an absolutely fantastic graphic for a managerial game, and I feel like the racing is actually really good, in my opinion, for being a managerial game. It has its gripes, like, as I said, the DRS is a little bit too strong, and so is Dirty Air a little bit too weak, which makes overtaking a little bit too easy on some tracks, like for example Jeddah and whatever has more than 2 DRS zones. But still, I know at least how to mod drivers, like their racing number, name, and so on, to make them customized. So yeah, that could be a little bit of a funny idea, a little silly one. But at the same time, Motorsport Manager, I actually have a little bit more experience on modding Motorsport Manager, and there are a little bit less limits there, considering the fact that you actually have a livery editor that is used for every single car on the track for every other team, so I kinda know how to mod other teams as well. Which makes me wonder, how cool would that be to actually make a little single race, like not an entire championship, just one race, well, the whole server of Lightroom actually decides to, build their own team. Like, they say, yeah, this is gonna be my team, this is gonna be the livery, this is gonna be how we actually try and make the car for parts-wise, like, I don't know, with a point-buy system, DND like, let's say. And then we just put them all on track and just see what the fuck happens, which I feel like could be funny. Also, the endurance race on that game can last, I think, 5 hours if you go on per 1 speed, so yeah, you get the point. You get the point. That could be interesting. But I don't know. That could be an idea. I'll think about it in the next few days. But still, once we're over with this, I feel like I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from this kind of stuff. Maybe do a little bit more silliness with Formula 1 Manager by myself. But other than that, yeah, it was a nice third season. It was nice playing this game, really. I actually like it very much. I mean, I have like 200 and something hours now on Steam on this game. Let me check real quick. I have 244 hours, and trust me, it's hard to get me to have this many hours on a game on Steam, so nice one from them. It has its issues, but I still love it, so I guess it's nice. Anyway, this is the only meaningful battle on track right now. Vesti versus Piastri, Piastri versus Vesti. Formula 2 all over again. I mean, I feel like Vesti and Piastri used to fight in either Formula 2 or Formula 3, can't remember when. So yeah, these two are quite strong by themselves. And they're having a little bit of a fight. Actually, it's funny because Piastri used to drive the car Vesti's driving, so yeah, it's kind of a pride battle. But I mean, yeah, that could be cool. That could be a cool idea. Now towards Spoon. Yeah, I mean, let's be completely honest, probably you all liked a little bit better when the 1-2 wasn't so certain, or maybe when I actually didn't get a 1-2, maybe because the race was a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I mean, my bad, we built a car too strong, so I have to get a little bit of how can I say, I should get a little bit of a responsibility for actually bidding a card which is a little bit too good for this game, but I mean this happens after 3 seasons or something, so can't really complain too much. We had the money to do so, so we did that, and now we are winning both championships quite easily. We should not complain for winning. We should complain for not losing. Just answering a thing real quick. Let me see. Next time, place for Kickstarter. I mean, I could. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be easy because, you know, the main point is, the main thing that made this career difficult at the beginning was the fact that this game has a, I mean, it's not a bug. I feel like it's actually something they actually added on purpose, which is the fact that if you start a My Team career, your car has like a big deficit on the financial side on the first year, which is due to the fact that entering Formula 1 is quite costly. So on the first year, your budget cap is like already 60% spent, which means that for the rest of the season, you can just bring like 1 or 2 upgrades and then you are done, because otherwise you're gonna go over the budget cap and then you're absolutely fucked. So it's the first year is the most critical one because you actually don't get podiums, you don't get wins, you fight just for points and you can't bring upgrades, so your car becomes slower and slower the more season goes on. But at the same time, which is the cool thing in my opinion, it's almost the most realistic one, because in Season 2, when you don't have that limit on spending anymore, you can actually go crazy with the upgrades and then you guys just get faster real quick. And I feel like with Kickstarter or other low-level teams, probably you could do the same thing, because I feel like since they are already in Formula 1, you don't actually have to, you know, worry too much about budget cap on the first season. You should worry more about money, because, you know, I don't know how much of a budget they have, but that could be the only issue I see, really, from bringing the Kickstarter to being a fantastic team, really. But yeah, that could be a choice also. That's the good thing about Formula 1 games. The difficulty is actually the team you chose at the beginning. If you choose Kickstarter or a pin, you're gonna have a tough time. But if you choose like Ferrari or everything else, well, you're gonna have an easier time for sure. Meanwhile, Piastri having a little bit of a struggle against Russell, who's having a little bit of a look himself as well. And all of this, Norris, although he has the fastest lap, still hasn't managed to get into the points. So sadly for him, I feel like it is gonna be a not so worthwhile race. Although the penalty surely didn't help together with the rain. Yeah, it was not the most eventful race, sadly. But that had some nice things, like Russell versus Alonso and Hamilton versus Perez, in my opinion. So all in all, something good was there. Also, what the fuck is Ocon doing? Ocon, are you actually going for absolutely crazy maneuvering? I feel like you are. Keep it up, mate. Yeah, baby, you can do it. Let's go on board with Esteban. Esteban, está bien. Yes, está bien. Está bien. I was gonna try, but not enough. And he has to yield. Well, I mean, not yield, he's gonna have to wait. Also, who are we lapping with Leclerc? I think some lapped car had 2 of them. It's Joe and Magnussen, I feel like. So we are up to P18 with lappings. Back to Ocon. This battle continues. Come on, Ocon. Score some overtakes. Yeah, baby, you can do it. Or maybe you cannot, who knows. Should happen. Through the 200 and something R. Through Spoon. Le Spoon Corner. There we go. Well, there's Norris trying something behind her. Can he do it? Nope, he cannot. Man, this Norris is absolutely suffering here. Like, this could have not gone worse for him. Like, he could have chosen every other Grand Prix to get a penalty, but then he had the worst one possible, and he could not make up the time he lost at the beginning of the race by the penalty. So yeah, a sad story for the McLaren driver. But hey, at least Vesti is getting the point, which is something, I guess. So look at that, Piastri is going for it again. And once again, the kick Sauber absolutely obliterates Vesti into turn 1. 3 laps to go, by the way. Oh, that explains it. Vesti is out of tires, so probably is gonna start falling back now. Yeah, I'm quite sure Russell won't have too many issues overtaking him now. And probably neither the guys behind him will. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be quite a dramatic end of the race for Vesti. All the hard work is done, getting unraveled here. Which is gonna be, well, not what he would have liked, but it is what it is, I guess. Still using some battery to try to resist the attack from Russell, but Russell, with the tire and everything, has a look. But not enough. Maybe into the corner here. Nope. It's gonna wait for turn 1 as well. Now here on traction he's gonna absolutely have him, surely. And now he's gonna go for it. Has a look. I feel like Vesti is probably fast on the straight line. Yes, he is. Russell trying his absolute best to get close, but nope, Vesti still resists. To the dismay of Russell, he's gonna have to wait a little bit more to get past Vesti. Also, Alonso dropped behind Mick Schumacher, which just shows how much the engine issues is costing him. Also, I saw Norris trying something on Bottas, without having too much of a success on that. Is he gonna try here on Dagna? He had a look. He's gonna try it once again after Dagna. Having once again a look. Looked quite decisive, but not enough. Ooh, was that a contact? No, actually it wasn't. It almost looked like a contact from Russell and Vesti, but it wasn't, so... Why did I see a contact? There was no contact there. It's all fine. Everything is good, lads. Nothing to worry about. But there we go, towards the penultimate lap for these lads here. Russell once again trying to get through, but Vesti is just a little bit too fast in a straight line for them. And Bottas instead is having a look, but yet positions remains unchanged. Ocon also in that fight trying to get at least maybe a single point if he can, although it's not gonna be easy. And while they go towards the start-finish straight to try once again to get the maneuver done, as Russell is absolutely trying now, Leclerc in the background is gonna do the same, but to get into the last lap of the race. Is Russell gonna go for it? Nope, he's not. He's not close enough to do that. So there we go. Last lap starts now with Charles Leclerc in the lead with a 70 seconds lead to Giovinazzi, which is of course racing quite easily ahead of Hamilton, which is 22 seconds behind instead. Now, let's see. Russell still close to Vesti, but once again not close enough, and I feel like they are all pushing as hell now, using all they have left for these last 2 laps. Yep, getting close once again into the hairpin. I don't know how Vesti is keeping that place, really. He should not have the tire to do so. But yet, he is surviving somehow. Ooh, let's see, into 270R, nothing to do here. Into Spoon, Vesti still survives. Is Russell gonna be able to do something here? Nope, I feel like Vesti is using the battery now to try to run away. which is, well, working quite nicely, but still is not gonna be enough to run away from the lads behind him, mainly because in the corner he's gonna lose all his advantage. But there we go, throughout the Cassius triangle, they all start now the final lap. Is Russell gonna be able to score a single point this race after having a little bit of an undercut play, a little bit of a wrong roll for his race? Or maybe he's gonna have to wait and be patient. Into turn 1, nothing changes. Norris has a little bit of look, but nothing. And now we change look to see Leclerc winning once again the Japanese Grand Prix. You can see also Giovinazzi getting through here, but I'm gonna switch soon to Battle for P10 because I feel like it's a little bit more interesting probably. So as Leclerc wins, Giovinazzi crosses the line in second place. Another 1-2 for the shitbox 03. Hamilton here, having a nice and easy P3, cruising towards the last few corners of Suzuka to get the points and the podium, of course, for Ferrari. There he goes. Then Sergio Perez could have wished maybe for a podium, but still a very solid race from him, and he finishes up in P4. Yuki Tsunoda, chased by Maloney, who also had a nice race really. They're gonna come through into the last few corners. I'm also keeping an eye, of course, on this battle, but still position unchanged, sadly. Vesti managed to get away though, which is unexpected, but Tsunoda, as I was saying, the local hero, P5, nice result for him. Maloney, nice recovery, P6. Gasly, P7, another result for Williams. Then Albon, Piastri, and then somehow Vesti survives to get P10, while Russell gets P11, Ocon P12, Bottas P13, Norris P14 sadly, Maini in P15, and then Mick Schumacher and Fernando Alonso finish up in P16 and P17. And that's it, lads. Our retirement from this race is Dennis Aga. But this is the end of the Japanese Grand Prix. And as you can see, Hamilton was quite happy for this result.
L'entusiasmo è incontenibile mentre la squadra celebra insieme il traguardo di oggi. Dimmi, come saranno gli animi nel garage della squadra dopo questa conclusione?
Una vittoria e un podio. Onestamente non poteva andare meglio. È un modo trionfale per chiudere questo weekend.
E per oggi è tutto. Si chiude il weekend qui in Giappone.
Non perdete la prossima gara perché siamo diretti a Shanghai per l'atteso Gran Premio di Cina.
And there we go. As you can see, we are the only cast that, well, didn't actually change a lot of positions. Lewis Hamilton gained 4, Perez lost just 1, Yuki Tsunoda gained 1, Maloney did a fantastic racing, gained 7, so did Albon, gaining 14 of them. Russell sadly lost 6 of them, so did Valtteri Bottas, so not a good race for Mercedes, of course. And then, yeah, Fernando Alonso also had a little bit of a calamity. And that's about it. A nice little race. Driver championships. We should be quite easily in a championship winning position, really, into the last race. And as constructors, we are already constructor championships, so good for us. Red Bull wins the fastest pit stop award this time, and we are not even classified, as I said, because we are slow as fuck, really. As you can see, the fastest stop for these guys is not even close to our fastest pit stop ever, so we cannot really do anything. And with this, I feel like we did good enough for, well, this race and also this season. So that being said, thank you for watching, of course, as usual. And I'll see you, well, I feel like it's gonna be probably in 2 days time, but when I can stream, I will stream, for the last race, which is gonna be, of course, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in, well, Yas Marina. So, thank you for watching, lads, and see you next time. Bye bye.